Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Earlier today, I posted a video with the Ukrainian, one of the spokeswomen of the foreign ministry, talking about the Russians initiating multiple offensives. Then there will be some great casualties on the Ukrainian side. And I was assessing that something is going on in Ukraine that we are not really aware of, in a way that the mass media, the corporate mass media here, keeps telling us that the Ukrainians are winning and the Russians are losing. The Russians have this many losses and they are deserting the army. They refuse to follow orders and they are behind schedule and all that. But then from time to time, or at least in the past 2 days, to be more precise, there are some news that are really telling something else, a kind of a desperation, military desperation, and some cracks in the so-called coalition, Western coalition, and talking about European Union, talking about NATO, and there are some individuals who actually come out and publicly challenge Ukraine and its aspirations. One of them was Henry Kissinger at Davos. The other one is a former Italian general who I'm going to cover what he said in a next video. Then we have some other people who say that maybe Ukraine should, give up some of its territory to the Russians, which obviously angers the Ukrainian people and leadership. But that is a sign that maybe the Ukrainians are just pushed little by little to the side, and how you hold someone, then you drop that person down and you let them run on their own, or you tell them, hey, you got to do this, otherwise we're not going to support you anymore. But that's my interpretation of what's going on. And let me read you this article and discuss what I think it says and what the implications are. This comes from Ukrainska Pravda from May 25th, 2022. And this is the title: Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. Maneuvers around occupiers in eastern Ukraine are not a retreat. So if they're not a retreat, it's a stabilization of the front or an offensive. And the other article that I had earlier today discussed that. Let me just put it out so I can tell you the exact wording of that. It's Ukraine Deputy Minister of Defense Maliar says the Russians are storming on several fronts at the same time. Losses are inevitable. So these two pieces of news tell me that actually the Russians are not really, like you would say in boxing, in the ropes where they're blocking, but actually they are on the offensive. And it seems like it's an offensive on a great front. It's not only pointed here, that's more than one point where they push the whole front. And this could be confirmed by this gentleman here who is um, it says that the spokesman of the Ministry of Defense, Alexander Matuzianik. So the situation on the Eastern Front, uh, part of the front, is very dramatic. The Ukrainian army is maneuvering. Uh, so the maneuvering to what? Because it says it maneuvers around occupiers. So let's say if they're going to be retreating or what's going on. So it seems like the Ukrainians are not retreating, but um, he says here that he was asked if it could be said that the Russians are advancing and the Ukrainian army is retreating in the Eastern Front. Why would you ask this? That's no smoke without fire somewhere. And he said, certainly, in some areas, Russian groups have a temporary tactical success, and in principle, it is not no secret. Oh, well, it's not secret, but maybe it's disinformation. So, but the fact that the Ukrainian troops are retreating, there is a completely wrong interpretation of these actions. So that reminds me of the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill when it was the what was that when they were surrounded by Germans and they had that big escape from the I can't remember the area, and Hitler stopped its advance and allowed them to start with a D, maybe. I can't remember the word. Oh man, it was a movie like a few years ago, 3 years ago. And the Hitler said, "Okay, stop, let them go." And then the British Navy and British citizens, they crossed the channel and they got him from that. I can't remember the name. I'm sorry. So, nevertheless, when the expeditionary force or whatever the British army was losing over there in that area, Winston Churchill was telling his commanders, advance to the coast. So not retreat, advance to the coast. How is that? I can remember that. My God. Nevertheless, the same is completely wrong. The interpretation of these actions are not retreating. What do you call it? They advance towards the west of Ukraine, I guess. In some areas, Ukrainian units are conducting a maneuvering defense. Maneuvering defense. There is, where possible, to retreat, change positions, and under favorable conditions to conduct counter-offensive operations. So basically, they retreat, and whenever they care to shoot back, they do it. I think that it's a big push by the Russians, and the Ukrainians are not able to withstand the attacks, and they remaneuver. They advance to the west of Ukraine. That stays in my brain. I can remember that. My God. Anyway, I'm just gonna let it go. So it must be true. We have this guy and the other lady that I just mentioned before, and it seems like we're gonna find out in a day or two that if the war is lost, or maybe not the war is lost, but at least it's a momentum. It seems to be like a momentum where if this goes through, is like breaking the front, and I don't know, maybe the Western countries understand that that's the last stand, and after that there's nothing. That's why they try to not do much. It was another article that I discussed earlier today regarding the NATO countries informally stating that they will not supply Ukraine with airplanes and tanks. And then that's another backup from, oh, we're going to give you everything but armies. And another thing was the inability of EU to impose embargo on Russia. Then we have the incapability of EU to come with a sixth round of sanctions, and many companies in Europe buy Russian gas using rubles. So it seems like the tide is going in one direction, but we'll find out. I'm saying in the next 2-3 days should be the mass media, even here in the West, might be starting saying Dunkirk. Whoo, I'm gonna sleep well tonight. So yeah, the Dunkirk. That was the place where Churchill said advance to the coast, and Hitler stopped his army for about what 24 hours or 40 hours, and the British army and French army were taken up and taken to the Dunkirk. Oh my, I was like, oh. And then nevertheless, so when I think in about 2 days we're gonna find out here if they advance towards Poland or not. I'm talking about the Ukrainian army. But thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.